A potential Wyatt 6 member has been spotted at WWE Headquarters. A rumoured Bloodline member has reacted to Tangaloa's WWE debut, and we've got the real reason WrestleMania 41 location was moved. Stay tuned, it's time for the news. One of the names being heavily talked about for the Wyatt 6 faction is NXT's Joe Gacy, who has now been spotted at WWE Headquarters. Apparently the visit was in relation to a move up to the main roster. Lots and lots of speculation about him being part of Bo Dallas's upcoming faction, who look like they're going to be debuting at King and Queen of the Ring. If you look at the source code and the audio file, we talked about it in a previous video. It looks like that's when we're going to see him, but we'll have plenty more QR codes before that happens. Mike Johnson giving us a bit of an update on the stars that are currently planned for the group, and they really do match up with fan speculation. You got Bo Dallas, obviously. Nikki Cross, properly suits her. Dexter Lumis, properly suits him. Joe Gacy, spot on. And Eric Rowan, who has recently re-signed with WWE, according to reports. Johnson followed up saying that it's currently unclear whether some of these stars are going to have new personas, but these are the ones that WWE currently has planned for this strategy.
I mean, they all just align so well with the atmospheric feeling that I think like they're going to be trying to bring with it. I can't wait to see what it's going to be. I think everybody's the same, right, with it, because it's going to be very emotional. It's going to be a very complex thing, I think, to get across to the audience. So I'm looking forward to seeing how you're going to continue on the legacy of somebody like Bray with something like this, where it's going to, likely pay homage to, I'd imagine, his entire run. And everything in and around his character and all of the stuff that goes with it. So
I'm like cautiously optimistic about the whole thing, and really I really desperately want it to work, and it's going to be a beautiful tribute to Bray, obviously. I just think it's a really tough thing to book.
I do. I think that I'm quite happy that it's taken this long. I was quite scared that it was just going to be like this very quick, like soon after everything happened, and I think taking this time, managing to step back a bit, it feels like they wouldn't do this if they didn't have a concrete plan. I feel now.
I agree. So I think they put the time in.
There's got to be like a big plan, I'd imagine, and it's going to, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, big story beats that we're going to kind of move between, because I think that was the thing with Bray, is like you always had these big tentpole moments. So I think you've just got to get from moment to moment and really, really make it as big a deal as possible.
Yeah, this doesn't feel thrown together at all. No. I think they've got the creative sorted for the next year, probably. Joe
Gacy's somebody who, we were talking before we shot, like it's we've been waiting for him to get to the main roster in ages, but he's so good with character work that I can't wait to see him here.
So good. Little note on one of those stars, Dexter Lumis. In the past 24 hours or so, he's updated his location on Twitter to ?
Which is like the new cool parts unknown.
Yeah. New era, isn't it? You can't say parts unknown anymore. Woke. No. We're sticking with faction-based news now. Obviously, at Backlash, we saw the WWE debut, a big surprise. Tangaloa getting involved in Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga's match over Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. Obviously, they came out on top. Tama Tonga's brother, Gorillas of Destiny tag team partner in New Japan Pro Wrestling is Tangaloa, but a certain New Japan superstar has reacted to it. He's also a potential Bloodline member.
And also a former member, or active member, I don't know, they're still kind of, I don't know how it works, of the Gorillas of Destiny. It's Hikuleo, the brother of the pair of them. So he's a massive lad. For anybody that doesn't know, he's like 6'8", 6'9". He is intimidating as all hell. He's a former strong openweight champion. He's a strong openweight tag champion. I think he was an IWGP tag champ, and he kind of came in at a time when Gorillas needed him, and he just turned up, no fuss, no muss, just filled that kind of enforcer role perfectly. So I think he's going to be somebody who, he's like, not to compare him, because it's nowhere near fair, but like, that's the Wall, brother. He's kind of like that, just that big.
The Wall.
You've
gone for the Wall.
He's that big sort of. He's that big threat. I think that
all of the massive wrestlers, and you went for the Wall.
The Wall's the biggest one. Did you not see him on top of that building?
He was. Huge. I can tell the difference.
Hogan could see him without binoculars. Massive.
Anyway, he's reacted to it with the following emoji. We'll put it behind us. It's that one. Ooh, it's the eyes. The eyes. We've got some news on how long Tangaloa's WWE debut had been planned. Again, this was a big surprise. A lot of people expected to see Jacob Fatu. Bit of a curveball, not one that I think anybody's complaining about.
No.
And apparently this had been in the works for some time, with Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Live saying Tangaloa's deal and Tama Tonga's were actually together. It's just that with Tangaloa, it didn't get out because New Japan never announced his contract expiring. They never gave him a farewell. WWE obviously never announces anything like this, but this is not something from the last 2 weeks. This deal was decided on months ago. So it'll be interesting to see with Hikuleo what happens there. Do you reckon he could come over?
I reckon he could come over, but I reckon we're getting to a point now, obviously, where Solo is taking things into a very aggressive, strange direction. And I think Hikuleo coming in just fits that so well. Like, he's going to be just such an obstacle for anybody that wants to get to them.
Like a wall, almost.
Yeah, almost like a wall. A wall called Jerry. No, like he's going to fill that enforcer role, I think, really well if he is indeed in that position. But at the same time, he's somebody that any position WWE wanted to use him in, I think he'd be a net benefit. Like, you could put him anywhere, I think, in the company, and he'd be able to find a spot, like whether it was NXT, main roster, whatever. There's
a bit of speculation, it's got to be said, about WWE possibly rebranding Tangaloa to Tangaloa because they've registered the trademark. I think people are making more of this than is necessary. I think they're just protecting basically a misspelling of the thing. So they've trademarked Tangaloa and Tangaloa as well.
But I think at the same time, you've got Tama Tonga and then Tangaloa. So if you take
just
Tonga
to avoid the
and
confusion.
Loa, it's very confusing. But like, you could maybe use it as a team name of sorts if you need it. I don't know. But it's probably just a misspelling, as you said.
I think they're just protecting themselves. Make of that what you will. We got the real reason WrestleMania 41 moved venues. After several months of expectation, the WWE was going to be heading to Minnesota for WrestleMania 41. The first time WrestleMania ever there. It did emerge at the Kentucky Derby. This was announced that WrestleMania 41 is instead being held in the Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's slightly later.
Can we just say it'd be like the Grand National being on, just being like, and of course WWE SummerSlam will be emanating from Wembley. Like, what is it?
It's good though, isn't it? Lots of eyes and all that. It's taking place slightly later in the month, as we all know, on the 19th and 20th. And we'll get to the date in a little bit as well. But a statement's actually been released from the Minnesota Sports and Events President and Chief Executive, Wendy Blackshaw, who provided some insight into why the path for WrestleMania 41 changed.
She said, "We were informed by WWE that Minnesota sucks. No, that Minnesota would not host WrestleMania in 2025 due to a change in direction by new ownership. Although disappointed, we're in discussions with WWE about future events in Minnesota. We are optimistic that Minnesota will host WWE events in the future."
So they're getting the house shows, it's all right.
It's a huge city, and I think that it's only a matter of time until we do get like a major event like that, because the Viking Stadium's beautiful.
Yeah,
like, it's really nice. There's a big glass side and down, but like it's built for a pay-per-view, that venue. Like, it would look class. I don't know if we're maybe going to get, with it being April, is it still quite cold up there because it's really far up? Maybe we'll get SummerSlam there at some point.
That's a better show,
where it's a little bit warmer.
But yeah, we'll see. Obviously, they seem very, very disappointed about it. It brings huge income into the city.
It does, of course. And but I mean, like, she touched on new ownership there, and of course WWE, Endeavor, TKO. They have a lot of sort of ties to Vegas with the UFC. They've got like that UFC venue there, which is going to be used for NXT soon, right? There's like a lot of company ties. So I don't think it's really surprising when Rumble and started coming out. I was like, it's going to go Vegas, isn't it?
It's not as sexy as Vegas, is it? No disrespect if you're from there, but Vegas is sexy.
Yeah, it's like Minnesota. You got to dress like you're in South Park, right? You can't be just walking around with like a t-shirt and your belt on. You got to be covered in like a puffer jacket and like 7 layers.
My mind went to everybody dressed up like Awesemo, like the robot. I don't know why. Awesemo and Big Gay Al. It's just those ones walking around. So yeah, she said basically it's due to the new ownership in Endeavor, TKO, and the leadership under the likes of Nick Khan and Triple H, leading to that change in plans. You'll get one day. So it's taking place over Easter weekend, and a lot of fans are sort of wondering why WWE would hold the event on Easter weekend. Meltzer giving a bit of insight to this as well, saying Vegas wanted it because they wanted them in when it's traditionally not a good weekend for tourism. That's the reason they wanted them in, because they wanted it. Like, lots and lots of people people basically heading to the city when they might not be otherwise. So they'll have a great weekend because lots of people are going to come in. That's the reason for it being that weekend. Makes sense, doesn't it?
Hoping for a God return. Just in the main event. Light goes on. Cody's getting beaten down. Light goes on, comes down, and then just somehow interferes. Yeah,
it's still a year away. You say you're talking like it couldn't happen. We're going to finish on another fun fact trademark. We'll also trademark fun fact as well, just in case people get confused.
Fan fact as well.
Fact. Geordie934 posted to Twitter an image of his, I think it's an Apple Watch, but measuring the volume of the Cody whoa at Backlash. It hit, get this, a staggering 115 decibels. So that's 5 decibels away from the sound of a jet plane taking off.
He's over, isn't he?
He's pretty over. A little bit. He's pretty over. So there you go. There's your fun facts of the day. Much appreciated. Thank you very, very much for watching this news video. You can go and check out the other one as well. It's on the channel right now. Enjoy the rest of your bank holiday weekend if you've got one. If not, enjoy your week. Take care of yourselves. In a bit.
Bye.